Hello and welcome to Module 3. It is actually the same day that I made the Module 2 video earlier today, but I have changed my shirt, so we're gonna count that. I'm gonna be traveling next weekend, and I'm not sure when I'm gonna have time to do this, and I'm just gonna assume that everything is going swimmingly over on the boards and with everything else. You might have even received I might have even done some grading by now. Who knows? Um, anyway, so this week we are doing apps, not appetizers, but rather applications. We talked about the difference between apps and tools last week and sort of focused on the toolier ones. This time we're looking at apps, which, if you recall, means that it does something kind of specific. So the resources for this week are essentially the same that they were last week. We've got the AASL best websites, Cruteau and Jackman's tech tools, and then I put in Joyce Valenza, Librarians Wanted for Smashing, Blending, and Toolkit Building because I adore Joyce Valenza. This is an older article, and some of the things like she absolutely loves, I forget what it's called here, Edge Shelf, which I couldn't find, but it didn't Google. I just clicked the link. So some of the links aren't good, although Free Technology for Teachers right here is another terrific resource. So I kept this in here. I think that sort of the structure of the iPad lends itself to the curation process. I don't know that we necessarily need these tools, although Symbaloo might work for some people. But the idea of us as curators, I do think still holds a lot of value. And so I think it's worth reading. It's not a requirement, but if you're interested, by all means, go right ahead. All right. So then you're going to explore. And these are some apps that people have had fun with, that some here, they're pretty specific. There are a million other new things. These are just the ones that, people have responded well to. And again, if you're somebody who knows about all these and you want to go find something else, by all means, go right ahead. If you're kind of dipping your toe in, these are a good place to start. So the first three are image related. We got Big Huge Labs, which is just ridiculously full of advertisements, but is super fun. And then Flickr, which used to be way more robust, but still has a really good comment section that you just have to, you don't need to get permission, and it's very easy to attribute them. And then Image Flip is the meme generator. Oh my gosh, when we get to cataloging, if you want to go ahead and look at modules 11 and 12, I took a cataloging class 2 years ago now, and I did all of my responses in the form of memes. It was, I don't know, I thought it was hysterical. Who knows? Anyway, the next ones are troubleshooting and brainstorming. And these are, sort of digging into the learning thing. Bubble S just helps you organize. Doodle is scheduling. Survey Monkeys or surveys, although I use Google Forms now, but if you're not a Google fan, Survey Monkey's great. Zamzar converts files in a way that is super handy. And if you pay for it, it does some really cool stuff, but the free version is still good. And then presentations, Bitmojis, explain everything. These are all different ways of sort of getting your information out there. And these are things that you might want to look at. I mean, you're going to want to look at these sort of things, but then when you're doing your student technology promotion project, maybe module 8, I can't remember. But these are things that will definitely, come into play then. And then augmented reality. I know very little about augmented reality, but I have some friends who've used it a lot with their kids. I tend to be younger kids, but Quiver Vision I know is still going around, but there's also like, virtual reality, the goggles and stuff. Whatever you want to go explore is fine. Okay, so you're just gonna look for things. This pretty much says what I just told you. And then down here, this week, is it in your blog? Yes. Okay, so it says choose 8 to 10 apps and give a library administration or classroom use for each. Post them along with anything else you like in your blog. And I say here, be specific but not detailed. So you don't want to say, oh, I could use I could use Flipgrid with my fourth graders to record stuff. Like, you want to say fourth graders will record you know, presidential speech. I can't think of a damn thing right now, but add some content in there. Just get used to thinking about the tools in conjunction with the content. You don't have to go get standards for it, but do be thinking about it in either something that you would use in library administration or something that you would use with your students. What would your students be doing with what content? Okay, so specific, but not detailed. I say fifth graders use trading card features to make trading cards of European explorers, or library media specialist uses survey monkeys to track computer lab usage. Okay, those are pretty good. I could have just read the ones that I had written. All right, so yeah, these they don't have to be, you can bullet point them. It doesn't have to be a lot. I just want you to be thinking of these not just in a vacuum, like think of them in terms of how you would use them. That's really it. It's a big week for you exploring, not a big week for me explaining. So that's nice. Things will get weirder later, I'm sure. Anyway, if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me, or if you think that it might help others in the class as well, you can go into the help section in the classroom, in Canvas rather, and I will see you on the discussion boards. Have an excellent week and see you later.